Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, P Funk. Thinking right out here in the lab, and I'm in the book. We about to get introduced to my girl, Net, the goddess Net. Remember that name. A lot of y'all ain't familiar with her, but you will when I get through. That's what this lesson's gonna be about. This is introduction to the ancient origins of the goddess Aset, Isis, and the comedic ancient Egyptian mystical wisdom, the goddess Net. That's right. Rightisms, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. There's a message in my stories for life. I give you life lessons. You tune in and receiving them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's do what we do. Right thinking mission is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking way of life, mental and spiritual discipline, practice daily, will help and guide you to obtain your goal of reaching spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to, know thyself. See where we're going with this? Let's get there together. So I asked the question, do you know you? You will when I'm through. That's what I do. It's rhetorical, but if you don't have to answer for yourself, tune in. I got you. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple, but you can teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. Appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is dangerous, avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm the spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself, and to Maya be true. Might be the counter to Maya. Her name is Net. I'm gonna introduce you to her and give you a breakdown. Now she's one of the oldest goddess. Okay, the oldest. We're celebrating in Seas. That's up past Egypt, the first catacomb up there, but at the top. And she was all that. Okay, let me break it down. Introduce you to her. Right there. Let's talk about introduction to the goddess Net. This is her again. You see a bow and an arrow? Okay, that's a calling card. You see her headgear? You see her headgear here? She got a few different aspects that she go by, and all of them is represented right here. You see, they call her the net, the weaver. Okay, she's the actual matrix. She's the first matrix. And what's this? Oh, her title, but she got some stuff. That's right. Break it down to you. The ancient Egyptian goddess Net is the prototype. Pay attention. She's the female Ra or the female Amun. Prototype and the basis for all the teachings which are later ascribed to not only goddess Aset, we know her right now, Isis, but also the goddess Het Haru, also. So therefore, she deserves a mention here and a formal introduction to who she really is. All right. Net is the goddess of creation and war. The Greeks got the Athena, or Athena. She came out of Zeus's head, full gear, ready to go. But this is who she came out mimicking. Net. She's the goddess of war, okay, and creation, as well as honor and decisive action. She knows just what she's doing. As a Mason, she squares her actions. Okay, she's on point. Her attributes, what's this, are the bow, shield, and arrows. She is androgynous. Ding, 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 ding. Right there. If she's a she, how could she be androgynous? She also has the male characteristics. She just presenting the what her female characteristic. That's why she's the other half of God. She's the female aspect. We talk about the male aspect all the time. Yeah. But the female aspect is what makes it all work. That's why I'm about to break it down and tell you who she is. She is androgynous, meaning neither male nor female. But she identifies with the female just like Haru identifies with the male aspect. The spirit of us is Haru. Okay? She's the female aspect. That's Het Haru, female. And it was known, watch this, and was known to watch over Asar's ceremonial bed when he lay dead. When they put him back together, right? She was there, okay? And she was there along with who? Aset and Nephet. She assisted Tahudi in bringing justice for Haru over Set in the Assyrian myth. So she's been around. She's the old goddess, okay? She's the older goddess that nobody talks about, but she had her reign, she had her time, and watch this. Now she's the goddess. The goddess Net is the primordial. There we go. That means old. Supreme divinity with her female aspect is being talked about. She is the ancient form of the goddess Aset and Haru, and her worship extended to the far reaches of antiquity into the pre-dynastic, right there. We deal with the dynastic period. From there, we got everything. But she was part of the pre-dynastic period. That's the 5,000, 7,000 year old history that they don't talk about. That's where she was the queen, okay? The goddess. And period, watch this. She came before the pre-dynastic period of ancient Egyptian history. There are records, there we go, from both the priests and the priestess who served her under her temples as the goddess Net. These show that worship of her was most popular when and expressed generally throughout the land of Egypt in ancient times. Again, before the white man came in, we had goddess Net. As we will see, the teachings related to the goddess Net are profound. Oh yeah, I'm about to break it down for you. And in every way as elevated as those of the supreme divinities of ancient Egypt, which portray the male aspect. She is just as equal and as powerful as a female aspect as we give to the male. That's what they're trying to tell you. I told you, ancient times, women ran the show. We would run a matriarchal society where the women was in charge. A king can't be the king without a queen. A queen is on the throne by herself. Moving on. But in the pyramid text, on line 606, Net with Aset, Nephet, and Serquet. Serquet is the scorpion body with lady head, okay? She represents what? Death, and she can help you. The poison that they have, the stinger from the snakes, the reptilians, and scorpions, the stinger go both ways. They got the antidote in them, and they got the poison. But they all was part of the watching over the funerary bed of Asar. Everybody came, okay? And only the big wigs was involved. But the bandages, their shroud, remember they had the shroud of Turin that Jesus had a shroud that he wrapped them in, okay? Asar's shroud was by the mummy of the deceased was given to him by the goddess Net. His bandages was from Net. And through these, she was able to impart her personal protection as well as her blessings in the form of spiritual powers. This is the goddess before the white man, the Greeks came in, so they don't know much about her. Okay, they can't tell you about her. They don't know. We can tell you about her. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Now, when the pyramid text on line 620 to 627, it was explained that the initiate is Sabak. Sabak is the crocodile god, which got the body of a man, or the whole body of a crocodile and the head of a man. But you usually have the crocodile head, and it was on the crocodile body or the man. Anthropomorphic and zoomorphic. Okay. But he was the god who is the son of Net. In their theology, he would be Haru. Why? Because in that the initiate rises like the son of Net in this city of Net, where Serbak is recognized as a form of who? Yours truly, Haru, like I told you. Again, every spirit has this Haru, no matter where, who it is. And everybody got Nefertiti, Kansu, they all represent Haru, different aspects. That's what we're showing you about Net. Net got representation from Aset, Het, Haru, and everybody else, and me, her. Give me some more on her. She bad girl. Watch this. So she had the same qualities. So therefore, there is no conflict in finding that the goddess Aset was ascribed her attributes in the later dynastic periods, okay, following her footsteps. The following speech of the goddess Aset, also used by the goddess Aset, excuse me, speech of goddess also used by Aset. She says this: I am, excuse me, everything that has been and which is and which shall be. And there has never been anyone who has uncovered my veil. She talking trash. She talking big trash of the goddess, and it is said that she, Net, created the seed of the gods and the goddesses, meaning men and women. Net is the goddess of light. Think about that. So now you see where we go with this. But I thought you said, let there be, whoa, whoa, whoa. Before that, we had Net. She is the one, and she says this: I gave birth to Ra. Net is the goddess of light, and thus her festivals is characterized by the practice of what? Lighting candles, torches, lamps. Now in India, they got a goddess who represents light, and they light the candle and sit out on the water and let it float out. So it's the same concept about the light and goddess. But as light, she gave birth to Ra. Ding, 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 ding. Y'all say the phrase, let there be light. Net said, I gave birth to Ra and the sun, the divinity who lights up the world. So Net is what they considered, what they called the divine cow who gave birth to Ra. Bet you didn't know that. Didn't get that story, did you? See, there's some intricate stuff that when you study and go to Egypt, there's a bunch of stuff that they haven't told us, but there's good stuff that you can learn and use. I call it useful information. I love this. What's this? So Ra has somebody who writes them. Okay, Net. Nobody told you that. Ra got a mother. She gave birth to Ra. So they're saying Net. We got the other guys called Mihert, the royal cow, the regal one, the blessed one, the mighty full one. I'll tell you about her. That's the primal waters from which creation arose. She going back to the primordial times. I can tell you, when everything we get from the white guy was 3,200 BCE. Wow, he was in control of everything then. Before that, he didn't know nothing about nothing. Okay, so we did. He just didn't. So again, in her androgynous, watch this. Her being androgynous, her androgynous nature is also related to the following epitaph. What you mean? It says, she is the father of all fathers and the mother of all mothers. When you tell a story about Ra masturbating and creating Shu and Tefnut, pretty much, she said she, like, okay, Ptah created himself by uttering himself into existence. She said she is that. Net, Menhit, they call her the Great Lady, the Lady of the South, the great cow who gave birth to the sun, aka Ra. They had that concept already laid out. Okay, how many people know that? How many people just common knowledge? No. Okay, and she also the one who made the seed of the gods and goddesses and men and women. She's the mother of Ra. How many knew Ra had a mother? The one who raised up Tim in the primeval time, who existed when nothing else had existence, and who created that which exists after she came into existence from her own being. The goddess gave birth to the gods and the goddesses to human beings. But she herself, pay attention, was not given birth to. She had no mother, no father. Okay? She brought herself into existence and gave birth without being impregnated. She a bad girl, ain't she? She was the primeval ocean, the noon, and she emerged as herself out of herself. Same concept from the male aspect is just from the female aspect. I did the same thing about nurture, the same quality, the same aspect from the male concept. Watch this. And it's telling you she emerged as out of herself, and all has come forth where? Through and from her. She is self-existent, and her nature is secret, hidden. Amun, the hidden one, and mystery to all, uncomprehensible. So, but she's laying out who she is, what she did. We only know this, that the rod, the sun, we only know that the commandment was given, let there be light. We know nothing about him being born. I know the story. I got the story. Him and Apophis, brothers. Okay? The original Cain and Abel story, but with the two brothers, neither one of them can be killed. You can't extinguish the sun, and Apophis can't be killed. So they go back and forth. That's the story of night and day. That's the original story. So when the spirit of Sar and the ego set came into picture, the brother killed the brother out of jealousy and bad habits. They showed you that. It's a metaphor to show you how even your brother from your mother will do you harm out of what? Demonic tendency, set, jealousy, all those qualities that make a person bad will make you do bad things. That's been the story of life. It's for all of us, okay? It's human nature. Let me go back. So now they show you here where it says, she taught, remember, means deep mysteries of nature and the goddess of Net. Net is also revered, too, as the Ur Neter, divine one. They gave her the same title as they gave the guy, the male aspect. She's just the female aspect. So Net encompasses what we call non-dual, absolute, all-encompassing divinity. The bird child. In essence, she is the bird child. I love it. This teachings is further illustrated where? Through the hieroglyphic symbols of her name. Okay? This is it right here. How about getting to you? The bow and arrow and the shield and the spool. These is all her attributes. I'm going to break them down for you right quick, and then I can let you go. I got a little bit more to go. Yeah, we almost there. All right, let's go. So her symbols and everything back then was done by symbolism. They showed you the symbols, and which was the bow and two arrows crossing the shield, and then the netting spool, meaning she weaved creation. She's the weaver of the matrix. The name Net, like the spider webs, okay, spooling all over it. It's a play on the word NT, just NT Net, okay, or NTT, ET, and it meaning that which is, that which exists. In essence, that which is real, true, and abiding and everlasting. Sound familiar? The goddess provides Sa, S-A-A, or what we call protection for your spiritual aspirants. She uses a bow and arrow. The Ethiopians were the only people that the white man didn't conquer on the African continent. You know why? They can fight. They were called the bow people. They was bad with that bow and arrow. Okay, they didn't take no shorts. Okay, that's all you hear. Death. That's what meant. That's what sounded like death before we got the gun and gunpowder. That's that air. That's that arrow flying through the air. When it hit it mark, it stops. And usually it's in your chest. And they shot the arrows down of who? The idea and symbolism behind is she used the bow and arrow to shoot down the enemies of who? Of the righteous with anger, hatred, greed, jealousy, envy, lust. Those are what? Negative qualities. So the symbolism is she shoots all that down. She takes care of all of them. And she don't miss. Whenever the bullseye was coming from her. Why? When she let the arrow go, it's going to get its mark. So she's the original bullseye also. All right. But Net is also known. Oh, see, I ain't got it before now. Her name, Net Hotep. That means Net is supreme peace. This is the goddess that's the abiding supreme abides in supreme peace within yourself. When you reach that level of Hotep with Net, that's the concept they're trying to get you to understand. Why? Net is also known as Amentet. That's the female version of who? Amen, the hidden one. She's the visible. In her place where you go after death, that's where we go. Aminta, excuse me, Aminta. But the hidden goddess, that's is the concept of the God. Amen. I know this. As well as Rat. She had two names, Amen and Rat. Usually the female last name, the last letter on the T represent female. But the consort of the god Ra. Thus, we are to understand that all the goddesses' forms are in reality all aspects of Net. Just like all the gods emanate from the virtue, from Ra, from Amun, that's what Net represents on the female side. Okay? Now, watch this. Net is also known as Mihinet, the weaver, the weaving goddess. That's the spool that's over here. And the material that woven by the goddess is what? Is used for what we call the wrapping of the mummy. There's bandages. But she also weaves her own clothing. What you mean? This clothing is the outer appearance of the physical universe. That means the world. The objective of spiritual movement within the Het Net. Remember, Het means house. So this is the movement of the house of Net. We in the house of Net, God's world. Okay? And to show here the little chop here, they give the hieroglyphic sign for her, but it says the house of Net, that's creation, is to perpetuate the goddess, to remove her clothing, to what? To unveil her, to unveil herself so that you, the initiate, may see her in her true form, which is absolute existence. We see the world for what it is. Being a goddess of light and having the power to weave the intricate web of creation, we call the matrix or the simulation, creation wherein all is connected. Everything's connected. I gave you the breakdown with that with the go-kart in the carnival. But as long as you're on that electric grid, you got power. As long as you're inside Net's world, you got juice. But the goddess allows herself to be disrobed by who? Only those who follow the path to her discovery, immortality, and enlightenment. This path was given in the temples of Aset, who is a later form of the goddess Net. There you go. Aset, Net. See where we're going there? But in the temple of Aset, the path of spirituality, aka she taught Aset, learning about Aset, known today as we call it the yoga of wisdom. About to get into that lesson next. But taught in the spiritual disciplines involving following areas. You, the aspirant, okay, is trying to purify your body through a good vegetarian diet and control of one's sexual urges. Your lower nature, right there. If a man and woman can't control the urge to fornicate, to have sex, then they got low, weak tolerance. Okay, you got your willpower ain't too strong. Okay, a lot of us had that issue. Moving on. All right, but the goal is to control that and engage in what we call devotional practice, daily meditation, daily study of the teachings of wisdom that you're learning and you implement and practice them. It's a 3-stage thing. First one, listen to the teachings of the myth of the goddess and receiving mystical insights into these. Number 2, reflecting on these teachings and what? Living them by implementing in your life and living in accordance with the righteous and the virtuous teachings, aka that leads to truth, in your daily practice of these teachings in your life. Number 3, when you do these 2 things, 3 is going to happen automatically. Why? Because through subtle, one-pointed meditation, leading oneself to what? Meditative union with the goddess, who is the essence of light, which transcends your mind, body, and time and space. That's how you communicate with your higher self. That's the idea of the goddess Net. That's who she represents from a female aspect. So hope you got the concept. God ain't just male, it's also female. Again, hope you get a lesson, right thinking. Oh, I'm about to introduce you into yoga and wisdom. I'll be right back. But in closing, right thinkers, may you all live to be 100, me 100 miles a day. So I know my right thinkers who now understand the goddess net and passed away. Hope you enjoyed the lesson.